I haven't done a live version of this in, I think, a week or something. So let's check it out. We are straight into this stuff for once in my life. We are on top of the blog post in Guild Wars 2. Um, yeah, I don't. Let me know if the volume's too loud. There's a spear blog post. Let's check it out. The name of it is, well, it was released, a couple, like an hour ago or something like that. Sharp Lessons Spear Beta Feedback Update. Let's read in. Let's read on, everyone. Let's read on. I'll shrink myself down. Hold on a sec. And just in case, I'll turn down the music because I don't know if it's gonna overshadow me. All right, there we go. All right, so this one's all about the updates that they're giving us feedback on. Well, the feedback that we gave them, basically, they're giving us feedback more on the issues or the how the spears worked in the beta. So what we've got here is, and lovely, of course, we have the warrior in the full legendary armor here. And the ranger is, I think, here? But why is there no one in the ranger mid-tier armor? You know? All right. So let's get into it. Greetings, Wayfinder. My name is Taylor Trigg Brooks. I'm a combat designer here at Arenanet. We ran a beta event. Of course they did. We know this. In June. For land spears. Today they'll go over the feedback they saw from us. And the changes they can expect to see, or we can expect to see actually, when the weapons are released this August. Blog outline what we feel the most important, impactful changes at broad level. The full list of changes will be detailed in the expansion release notes. So this is kind of like an overview. Let's go through it roughly because we are way past my bedtime right now. It is 3 a.m. in Australia, and I need to get to sleep. I forgot to say, but very early morning to everyone from Australia. Welcome. So we will mainly be quote unquote talking about or discussing the ranger, thief, and the warrior at the end. But we'll just go over all of it quickly, just because those are the kind of the ones that I'm the most interested in and the most kind of in tune with, I guess. So Elementalist, I didn't play any of these except for those three that I mentioned. So spear wielding Elementalist sought to harness the power of natural disasters to bring calamity to their enemies. It is the most visually ambitious weapon we have created, and we couldn't be prouder of the art team's work. However, in the beta, the damage wasn't as impressive as the visuals were. We agreed that the feedback that the weapon's power level landed too low, and you can expect to see damage increases for all game modes, especially for the capstone etching skills. Interestingly enough, they said that they overtuned everything, or I guess they thought they did, for the beta, because people won't play the beta. They literally said this: people won't play the beta if the weapons aren't strong enough, if they don't feel like they're strong enough. And they just feel like they're playing some regular weapon. They literally said that. So, yeah, I guess they severely undertuned it then. Undertuned it. Alongside damaging enhancements, we're making the following quality of life adjustments to the weapon. Love quality of life adjustments. Etching durations will be increased by a few seconds, while Ripple's distance is now controllable. The distance is controllable? Okay, through ground target. Oh, yeah, right. Seethe and Energize will not affect auto attacks, and the visual noise of etchings has been reduced. We've also added strike damage component to Fulgor and rebalance some of its effectiveness away from damage over time in PvE for a more immediate effect. We're hoping these changes result in a smoother experience with a greater impact. So again, I don't really know about any of these skills, so we'll just kind of brush over that. Necromancer, Necromancers aim to execute their foes, both spear and soul shards. I do know about that mechanic. With the gameplay loop of building and spending these soul shards, we saw that the sorry, I did say it was late, and you all do know that I yawn when I'm reading shit and just talking about stuff. So yeah, we saw the shard economy was too dominated by isolate. The shard economy, okay, by isolate, and distress. Oh my god, what am I happening? We are increasing soul shard generation outside of the fourth spear skill, and soul shard duration will now be refreshed when you gain more shards. Sorry. Okay, to be fair, I am a little bit bored with these ones, but it just happens. It happens. With those changes and lowering of the threshold needed to immobilize with Adel, we are hoping the weapon has more consistent power level and doesn't feel as weak when you miss isolate. Additionally, extirpate will now generate life force as well to help you follow up on its big hit. Cool. I don't know that much about this, but I feel like I know the most about this compared to other ones. Anyway, not that much. Mesmer. So, Mesmer Spear provided a unique gameplay pattern, and we were happy to see it find use in many places. The beta event gave us clarity about how we could make the weapon feel even better. Largest problem we got feedback on was the weapon's performance varied a lot depending on whether you had clarity. Clarity will now. Oh, arigato, baby. I cannot set this down because I'll destroy myself. I'll just hold it. I'll hold it.
I'll hold it.
Huh?
I'll hold it.
Good idea. What? What'd you say? My amazing girlfriend just gave me some water that I badly needed. Clarity will now be gained by hitting the mind gap. Hitting mind the gap. Holy brother. Clarity will now be gained by hitting mind the gap, regardless of whether it was an outer edge hit. But that outer edge hit. Sorry, one sec. That outer edge hit, but that outer edge hit will still be important. We are updating the visual to better outline where that hitbox is, and the skill will still deal increased damage as well as guaranteed critical hit on outer edge. Imaginary inversion is also seeing a shift how the skill functions. I never knew how the skill functioned. To help the consistency of the tools it brings, it will now always clear conditions from you at the start of casting with no clarity required. It will also heal you if you evade an attack, even if you don't land the attack portion. Clarity will now increase healing. Oh boy. The final large change to the weapon concerns its phantasms. We saw in the beta the Lancers routinely got outplayed by terrain. Interesting. Whether that was a cliff or a small pebble. Holy. The holy brother TM. The Lancers have taken a more vertical approach to their attack and will now jump in the air and launch a spear at the target instead. This spear will damage area on impact. A much more reliable follow-up for the Mesmer. Amazing. That sounds amazing. I never played this, but I understand what they're getting at, and that sounds great. Sounds like a great change. All right, Thief. We did do this. Thief Spear endeavored to bring the skill chaining mechanic used by assassins in their original Guild Wars 2 in the modern game. We were pleased to see how it turned out, but we found that it could use some polish. We will be changing a rule for how the skill chains progress. The chain will now always progress when you use a skill instead of relying on hitting a target. This aims to help the weapon feel smoother with the skill queuing system and enhancing its reliability in competitive modes. The weapon ended strong in PvE, so there'll be some unsurprising downward adjustments to its damage output. Yep, makes sense. Its finishing skills and stealth skill will have their target cap raised to help thief spear identity as a cleaving weapon. Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. So they're polishing it by changing the rule. So basically, we're not gonna play this song. So basically, the spear, or sorry, the skills will progress regardless of whether you hit something or not. You'll just swap over if you used it. I didn't. To be honest with you, I didn't really notice that. Perhaps if I watch my video back, I will see how it worked. But just reading this now, I didn't recall that it actually had to hit something to change over. But I believe them when they say that. It's probably me honestly just forgetting. Yeah, that sounds great actually, because then you can kind of activate some skills and swap them over to get ready, like kind of engage in a sense. But the chain will now always progress when you use a skill, so relying on hitting a target. Well, here's the thing. Do you have to be in combat for it to progress or no? That's the question, I guess. So, Ranger. Much like the Elemental Spear, Ranger's Spear had strong narrative theming, but didn't quite follow through fully in the game. Some of his skills, like... That's like... Seriously, like my 5th yawn. Much like... Sorry. Some of its skills, like its stealth skills and Bee Sting, like the damage needed to make it a competitive option against other Ranger weapons. Yes, that's... I believe that's true as well, because I didn't feel like, wow, I should totally swap my hammer for this. I never felt like that. I thought, let me use this with my hammer. I definitely thought, let me not use mace and let me use this instead. And I considered swapping axes with that, but I don't know, I couldn't fully see it as well at the same time. Additionally, due to the popularity of traps and other pulsing damage skills, which we all know that Rangers love to use, Ranger players, it was hard to weave in and out of stealth and complete your attack before you were revealed. Yes, that is accurate. I didn't do extensive testing, but I could see how that would be a problem. To remedy this, Panther's Prowl will now grant Hunter's Prowess for a short duration. Hunter's Prowess will allow you to use your next stealth skill even if you were revealed. Okay. Good, I guess. It's nice that you don't lose the stealth attack. I like how it's a little bit delayed. So that's a bonus. Another issue was Panther's Prowl and Spider's Web sharing a cooldown. Yes, that was a big issue. This was consistent with the rest of the weapon's skills, but it made the opportunity cost for using Spider's Web too large. 100%. We will be separating their cooldowns so that using Spider's Web, yes, amazing. Feels good. And you don't have to worry about wasting a charge of stealth. So basically, you get to use... So when you go to use Spider's Web, it just doesn't pull out a stealth charge, I guess. I'm assuming. Engineer. Classically spilling water on myself. That was my face. It splashed on my face. Engineer Spear surged onto the scene, finding a home mainly in condition-based builds in PvE. It supported competitive numbers, but was still rough around the edges in places. Keeping track of who was focused and for how long wasn't an easy task, so we'll be adding a visual aura to your focused target. We'll also be adding an effect to the player when they have a focused target, making it easier to determine how long the mark will persist. Some casting times were also a bit slow. They'll be sped up to help weapon feel smooth. Lastly, Devastator will see speed increases, a range increase, and significant reduction in its aftercast. I don't know about anything that's going on here, but if you are one who is in the engineer world, then there you have it. That's what you've gotten. Revenant. Holy shit! I thought that was half a half man, half spider for a second in that image. Revenant Spear aimed to be a heavy weapon that built up strength, culminating in powerful damage. However, in the beta, we saw that this weight was unwieldy and its punches lacked impact. Casting times are being decreased across many skills. We are increasing the condition variety of the skills to help its damage stick. Good, because I don't know why, but when I saw the information about the Revenant, it wasn't overwhelmingly positive in my head. So I could be just, bullshitting, making things up here, but it makes sense in my head what they're doing, like updating this stuff, just making it better overall. Crushing Abyss's maximum stacks has been reduced from 5 to 3, making the weapon reach its maximum potential a lot faster. Amazing. Abyssal Blot will now pull immediately, helping the weapon set itself up better. The result of these changes is more fluid, with more tools to secure its damage. Amazing. It's going to make me want to try it out more, even though I don't really play Revenant, but it is an interesting class that I do like. Guardian. 2 more to go. Guardian, I am very tired. Guardian Spear shone brightly in World vs. World, especially in large-scale fights. Kind of thought it would. Spear's biggest pain point was how its second skill function, pressing the key again to stop early, felt awkward and had a few bugs. Jeez. Helio Rush is seeing an update similar to the Elementalist Ripple. This is now a ground target, and you will stop when reaching the target location. Its toolkit is getting some updates too, like improvements to its self-healing and healing on Solar Storm. Interesting. And Symbol of Luminance will now always apply resistance to allies. That's cool. I did read up a lot also about the Guardian stuff, so that was quite interesting. That's quite interesting to hear the updates. Good news. Warrior, our final one that we actually care about. Spear on Warrior was met with mixed reception. Definitely. It was a strong option in PvP, but didn't stand out in other places. Yes, very, very, very true. Its range threshold mechanic also didn't garner a warm welcome. Yes, it did not. Warrior Spear will be updated to feature a new mechanic. Very wise, because they needed to rethink this. They needed to. We want to emphasize... Okay, let's... Here we go. The music's building us up. We want to emphasize the force the warrior is launching their spears with, but in a different way. Instead of effectiveness varying by distance, skills will now do more damage to the first target struck. Okay. Good. That's better than it was before. Spear Swipe will get some updates to its functionality, such as cooldown refund if you evade an attack with it. Huh. Interesting. That's much more unique. The most important note is that the Spear Marshal has been sent back to Remedial Javelin School, as Spear Marshal's support has been improved and will now track the target better. Okay. So basically they removed the old mechanic. They removed the mechanic. Hold on, this music, man. They removed the old mechanic of distance being the deciding factor on how much damage you did. And now it is the amount of damages based on the first target struck. So in a piercing situation, I guess, spear swipe is also, that's a new kind of mechanic, I guess, on top of the, like that's an auto attack mechanic, right? Here, but that's a spear skill. That's a skill mechanic, I guess, and that's gonna be very welcome. It's very unique. That wraps it up for the high level changes. Um, there'll be a much bigger release patch, a set of release notes when the patch is live. That is going to be read by me for sure, because I want to see all the stuff that they've done to update Warrior in particular. I guess it Ranger as well. My voice. Yeah. I mean, I'm not as heavily invested in Ranger and Thief in the sense of their changes per se, because overall it was good. But like in terms of Warrior, it was quote unquote so bad that they needed to like do an entire rework of the mechanic, and on two fronts kind of. So I'm interested in mostly what they've done to change this up, because obviously the reason why I'm not as interested in these is because it obviously be a much smaller update and change, but I'll still check it out. Still obviously check it out. That is it. I'm gonna go to sleep now because it is 3:20 a.m. and that took 20 minutes, so not too long, but long enough. Long enough for me to want to still, get to bed. So I don't know what I'm saying right now, and I've had a lot of wine before this, so I'm mega excited about this and also mega tired. And I had a big day yesterday. Now it's yesterday that I actually had the big day, and I'm still awake. So let's get rid of this intense music, and I will see everyone in the next video. I may or may not losing my voice now. I may or may not make a solo video in regards to this stuff in particular. We'll see. We'll see if I get a chance to do that. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I don't know why I thanked you, but I hope you have. Why am I saying I hope? There's no need for hope. I'm not one of those guys who says I hope you enjoyed. I'm not. I think I used to be one of those guys, but now I'm just rambling. All right. I'll catch you in my next one. Bye. Time to swap over to ending stream mode. Boink. See y'all.